Tokyo sunrise. Neon signs fade to daylight and rows of shiny electric cars line up at public chargers, screens blinking still charging, 20 minutes left. Then a bright yellow box on wheels rolls past, slips into a tiny parking space, tops off its tank in 2 minutes, and merges back into traffic before the first EV even moves. That box is the Suzuki Spacia Gear, and right now it has the longest waiting list in Japan. Everyone keeps saying batteries are the only future. Governments push rebates, companies brag about 400-mile ranges, and social media feeds fill with charger maps. Yet somehow, this little gasoline kei-car is outselling some headline-grabber EVs in the very country that invented the bullet train. How can a 660cc engine beat billion-dollar battery tech on its own turf? Some buyers claim the Spacia Gear costs less to run than an e-scooter. Others swear it holds more cargo than a compact SUV. But is that real or just internet legend? And what about its mild hybrid tag? Does that tiny electric assist actually save fuel? Or is it marketing smoke and mirrors? Insiders whisper that rival engineers are tearing these cars apart after hours, hunting for a loophole Suzuki found in Japan's strict kei-car rules. There's talk of a quiet tax tweak coming next year that could send demand through the roof. True story or clever rumor to spook the EV giants? And here's where it gets even wilder. Early spy shots suggest the 2025 facelift hides safety tech you'd expect in a luxury crossover at half the price of an entry-level EV. How did Suzuki pull that off without breaking the budget? What corners did they cut? Or did they simply outsmart everyone? Stay tuned. In this video, we'll lift the hood, break down the real costs, and test every bold claim in daily Tokyo traffic. By the end, you'll know whether the Spacia Gear is a genius city hack or a shiny distraction from the electric revolution. The answers are waiting inside that tiny box, and they might rewrite what future car really means.
Picture this. Yui walks into her local Suzuki dealer on a rainy Saturday thinking she'll drive home the same day. Not a chance. The sales rep smiles, hands her a pager, and says, 6-week wait, if you're lucky. 6 weeks for a tiny gas car in the middle of Japan's EV gold rush? She's stunned, but the numbers back it up. Last year, the Spacia Gear passed 165,000 units, up more than 30% while several headline EV models slipped or flatlined. For perspective, every Tesla sold in Japan, Model 3, Model Y, the whole lineup didn't match that total. Why the rush? The kei-car rulebook writes half the answer in bold. Cars under 3.4 meters with engines below 660 cc pay about 1/3 the road tax of a regular compact. Insurance follows suit, and parking permits in Tokyo drop by as much as 40%. Yui's old hybrid fit cost her almost 35,000 yen a year in fees. The Spacia Gear will shave that down to about 10,000 yen. That's the price of a new phone plan every single year. But here's the twist. The Gear isn't the only kei-car on sale. Honda's N-Box, Nissan's Days, Daihatsu's Tanto, they all sit under the same tax umbrella. Yet dealers still have N-Boxes gathering dust while Spacia Gears clear out faster than they arrive. The N-Box offers soft seats but no sliding doors. The Days has a zippy turbo yet loses on cargo height. And the Tanto packs tech but tips the scale at a higher price. Somehow, Suzuki hit the sweet spot first. So the tax break can't be the whole story. Something else, maybe the way the Gear turns its boxy shape into magic city space must be tilting the scale. And if that extra ingredient is real, every rival brand is already 2 steps behind. Next, we'll pop the hood to see whether a tiny 660cc engine plus a whisper of electric help can really outdo range anxiety and charging queues. Because that's where the buzz gets louder.
Yui finally gets the call. Her Spacia Gear has landed. First stop after pickup is the expressway on-ramp. She presses the accelerator and, surprise, the little box steps out briskly instead of crawling like she expected. The secret lives under that toy-sized hood. Suzuki's R06A 3-cylinder linked to a mild hybrid starter generator. Here's how it works. No jargon needed. The gasoline engine is tiny, about the size of a coffee maker. But every time Yui leaves a red light, the electric motor adds a quick shove. That brief boost means the gas engine doesn't gulp extra fuel when it's weakest. When she brakes for the next light, the system grabs the slowing energy and stores it in a small battery no bigger than a lunchbox. That recycled power is what gives her the next push. It's a loop. Assist, recover, repeat. What does that feel like in real life? On Yui's first full week of commuting, the dashboard read 24 kilometers per liter, roughly 56 miles per gallon in US terms. She filled the 5.5-gallon tank for about $45 and drove nearly 600 kilometers before stopping again. To compare, Her coworker's entry-level EV costs around $8 to charge at a public fast station, but he has to plug in every 200 kilometers and wait 30 minutes each time. Add the weight and the cost evens out. Subtract the weight and the Gear wins on time saved. The hybrid assist also smooths city life. At a red light, the gas engine shuts off completely. The cabin stays quiet. Yui can hear her podcast without raising the volume. Green light, she nudges the pedal, and the motor restarts the engine so gently she barely feels it. No shaking, no lag. So yes, it's still burning gasoline, but it uses every drop like a miser counts coins. Is that thrift alone enough to beat the promise of zero-emission driving? Maybe not. But the next advantage is even harder for EVs to copy. The way this lunchbox car bends space inside and outside the city. And that's where Yui's IKEA adventure comes in.
The Spacia Gear's biggest win is how it flips small outside, big inside, from marketing line to measurable fact. On the street, its body is barely 3.5 meters long, 30 centimeters shorter than a Mini Cooper, and a full meter shorter than a Toyota Corolla. That lets it squeeze into Japan's micro parking slots, many of which measure just 3.7 meters. A Corolla can't fit without its bumper crossing the white line. The Gear slides in with room to spare. Yet, open the sliding doors, another K-Class advantage, and the cabin feels like it belongs to a compact SUV. Headroom hits 1400 millimeters, enough for a 6'2" passenger to sit upright, and the flat floor means no transmission hump stealing foot space. Cargo numbers back up the impression. Fold the rear seats and you get just over 900 liters of volume, roughly equal to a Honda HR-V with its seats down. Yui proved it by loading 2 flat-pack IKEA bookcases plus a medium fridge box, something her colleague's Nissan Leaf couldn't manage without a roof rack. Sliding doors also solve tight garage anxiety. They need only 12 inches of clearance to open fully, compared with the 24 to 28 inches a regular hinged door demands. In dense Tokyo lots where cars park centimeters apart, that's the difference between easy entry and an acrobatic crawl. Fuel stops add another contrast. A quick-turn convenience store forecourt fills the Gear in 2 minutes. An EV needs either a rare curbside fast charger or a dedicated bay that often stays occupied. Even a 15-minute fast charge balloons when 3 cars wait ahead. Meanwhile, the Gear is gone, its owner already unpacking groceries at home. Put it together and the maths is simple. 1 parking space fits, 1 loading task handled, 1 fuel stop measured in heartbeats instead of coffee breaks. That's practicality you can measure with a tape and a stopwatch, not just a brochure claim. But practicality alone doesn't explain why EV early adopters are paying attention. To find that answer, we have to look at what still frustrates battery drivers: charging queues, winter range loss, and 5-figure battery replacements, and see how a petrol-plus-hybrid kei-car dodges every one. Electric cars still face 3 big headaches in Japan, and each one tilts buyers toward a kei-hybrid like the Spacia Gear. First, charging access. Tokyo has roughly 1 public fast charger for every 3,000 residents. On a Friday night, you can wait 20 to 30 minutes just to plug in, then spend another 20 while the battery climbs to 80%. A gas station stop with a Gear, 2 minutes flat. Over a year of weekly top-ups, that's more than 40 hours saved, an entire work week most city drivers would rather keep. Second, cold weather range loss. Field tests by Japan's Automobile Federation show popular EVs dropping up to 30% of their rated range when winter temperatures hover near freezing. A Leaf advertised for 300 kilometers may limp to 210 on a Hokkaido commute, forcing an extra charge stop. The Spacia Gear's small petrol engine hardly notices the cold. Mileage dips only 2 or 3%, the difference of half a liter per tank. Third, battery replacement. Nissan's official price to swap a 40 kilowatt-hour Leaf pack is about 1.4 million yen, roughly $9,000, or the sticker price of a brand new base Spacia Gear. Even if warranties cover part of that cost, owners still fear post-warranty surprises. The Gear's R06A engine, by contrast, uses parts common to half a dozen Suzuki models. A full top-end rebuild costs under 100,000 yen, and most drivers never need one. Add those up, wait time, winter anxiety, long-term risk, and a kei-hybrid starts to look like the safer bet until charging infrastructure and battery economics catch up. But what if Suzuki isn't stopping at good enough? The 2025 facelift claims sharper styling, tighter hybrid tuning, and safety tech borrowed from cars twice the price. And here's where it gets crazier.
The 2025 Spacia Gear looks almost the same boxy shape,
but every key detail is sharper and smarter, and that is my best reason for you to subscribe right now. First glance, a chunkier grille, full LED headlights, and two-tone paint that makes it pop like a mini Land Cruiser. Yet the body is still kei-car small, so parking rules stay in your favor. Inside, Suzuki swapped the old 3-inch camera feed for a full 360-degree bird's eye view. That feature usually shows up in $25,000 crossovers. Here, it comes standard on a car that starts around 1.5 million yen, about 11 grand. Lane keep assist and dual sensor brake support are now baked into every trim. In other words, safety tech you once had to pay premium for is bundled at key prices. Under the floor, the hybrid battery grew 8% in capacity, and the ECU got a fresh tune. Result? Throttle feels crisper, leaving traffic lights, and official mileage nudges up by about half a kilometer per liter. Compare that with a first-gen Nissan Sakura EV. The battery stayed the same size, but the 2025 Gear just squeezed out more distance on less fuel, all without raising curb weight. The best part is that Suzuki kept its part-sharing strategy. Same R06A block, same transmission casing, same infotainment guts as the Wagon R. That lets them add new tech without hiking the sticker. Competitors often bump price when they add one safety sensor. Suzuki added 3 and held the line. So we have a facelift that feels like a full generational jump. Better lights, smarter safety, stronger hybrid assist. Yet the checkout price still sits at the low end of Japan's key segment. But can that price survive if orders double again? And if the Gear already checks this many boxes, what's left for an all-electric version to improve? That leads straight to Suzuki's wider game plan. While rivals poured billions into full-size EVs, Suzuki took a quieter path. Perfect the kei-hybrid today, watch the charger map turn blue tomorrow. They knew Japan's tax breaks and cramped streets made a 660cc box more useful than a 400-mile cruiser, so they doubled down on that sweet spot. Cheap to buy, cheaper to run, zero charging fuss. The gamble paid off. Spacia sales surge while some flashy EV nameplates already face price cuts. What's next? Government planners are debating a tweak that could widen kei-car tax perks even further. Early drafts suggest road fees could drop another 10% for models under a set CO2 threshold. If that passes, the Gear's yearly ownership bill shrinks again, and demand could spike beyond current factory capacity. Suzuki hints a full electric Spacia shell is under evaluation, but only when battery prices fall below the magic 7,000 yen per kilowatt-hour mark. Until then, they'll keep refining the petrol-plus-hybrid recipe, and banking profits many competitors are still burning on R&D. So is the Spacia Gear a clever stopgap or a long-term winner? The answer hangs on infrastructure speed and policy moves we'll see in the next few years. For now, the little box is the right tool for Japan's tight streets and tighter budgets, leaving EV giants to wonder how a gas sip can outpace a kilowatt. In our conclusion, we'll tally the numbers, revisit UI's real-world costs, and see if the Gear truly flips the script on the all-electric future.